country in the world, and it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for, and if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
Dear America family, welcome to the program. We got a lot to get into today. My name is Chad Prather. I'm filling in for Graham Allen, but I can yell at you too. We'll do some of that. I want you guys to blow up the chat with some American flags. Let's get this thing started, get everybody awakened, get everybody excited to be awake. You're an American. You still live in the greatest country that has ever existed in the history of mankind, and we are taking it back, baby. So hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, all the buttons you can push. I want you to push them. You don't have to smash them. You don't have to hit them. You can caress them gently, but rub them, touch them, push them. Do the buttons. Welcome to Thursday morning, y'all. Got a little creepy there. I had to reel myself back in. Ooh, anybody else sweating in here? Woo, dear America family, American flags. Let's go back to the American flags. Let's do that. Blow up the chat. Yeah. Am I blushing? Am I blushing? I suddenly feel like Royce. Oh, my gosh. It's a good day, man. The Trump administration is driving a dump truck through the federal government's glass house, and I am here for the destruction, baby. I am loving it. As our favorite peppermint patty, Madam Circleback Jen Psaki said on MSNBC, it's like a hostile takeover. That's right. We're hostile, and we're taking over, and we're here to watch the fireworks, folks. There's so many things to get into, but before we do that, I want to remind you about someone so important in our lives, and we want to keep them important in our lives, and we can do that by you helping us, and that is by texting the word Graham to 989898 over to our friends at Birch Gold. Birch Gold is the leader in helping you secure your future and your retirement, your 401k, your IRA that's sitting there doing nothing from a former employer or wherever your money may be sitting. Back your investments up with tangible, physical gold. Birch Gold will help you do that. They'll send you a free, no obligation information kit to help you learn how to do this. It's simple. Text the word Graham to the telephone number 989898. Now, it doesn't cost you anything to do that, but it helps us immensely. So do us a solid today. Do us a favor, please. I'm begging you before Graham comes back and fires me forever and stops being my friend because I didn't get anybody to text. Text Graham, Graham to 989898. They're our friends over at Birch Gold. Go over there and check them out. All right, folks. So much to get into, and without further ado, I want you to rejoice. Rejoice, everybody's favorite choice. The man with the golden voice, he pushes the buttons on all the toys. His logic destroys. So make some noise for producer Royce.
Wow.
Dude, that's probably the best intro I've ever gotten. You know, I tried to get Graham to give me the Tony treatment, but he just refused.
No, he doesn't do it. Let me see if I can come up with something for Tony. Okay, here we go. He came to town on a rented pony. No baloney, he's our southern homie. All the way from Oregon. The real dang deal and never a phony. Let her rip for Mexican Tony!
That is pretty darn good, Chad. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, who needs Graham anymore? We got Chad. Chad's breaking it down, man. He's bringing the heat. I like it, Chad. Good job.
I'm pretty proud of the Oregoni part of that.
I do like, yeah, you were on it. All
now,
right, let's see what you got for Todd.
Now I got to deliver. Here we go. In a crowded room where the chatter is broad, here comes a dude that some call odd. With charm and wit, he lights up the space. He's the crazy cat that sets the pace. A disclaimer, my friends. Before we dive in, all his tales, they'll make you grin. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride with Hot Seat Todd. There's no need to hide.
Jesus, man. Like, bro, what are you on?
Bro.
Like, what are you on?
He must have drank 5 Red Bulls before we came on.
I had this whole, serious thing, planned out.
I haven't even cracked open a Celsius yet today.
I had this whole serious thing planned out, and it's gone now. It's gone.
We shared a moment.
It was great.
And then we have a little image. I don't know if everybody can see it. We have a little image of Graham up there in the 5th space. Is he amongst us, or do we know? No, I don't want to let anybody down.
The 5th space.
I see that.
There's no 5th space.
Okay.
There was, yeah, I saw it.
I'm seeing it on the internal monitor there. There's a little.
It's
there's
gone
a little,
now.
emoticon with Graham up there. Hey guys, listen, man, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. We've been told that we shouldn't make fun of people. Welcome to the wrong show. We've been told that we're not supposed to make fun of like aging politicians. People that have gotten so far up in years. They've been in Washington D.C. right around the time they executed Julius Caesar. They were there when Paul Revere made his famous ride. Mitch McConnell. They said you shouldn't make fun of him. We're gonna make fun of him. At Washington. It is too hard not to. So, you know what, everybody? Here's your Republican leader-in-chief right here, your Senate Majority Leader, Mitch the Glitch. Play it. Somebody get him. Somebody get him. Oh.
Little stumble.
Oh, it's a step. How about that?
The camera work, though, is phenomenal.
It is.
Zoomed all the way in, zoomed all the way out. It's straight
right
off
in
the
on
Office.
his face. They did it. It's like The Office. It's almost like they did it like they were like trying to take the eyes off of the fact that he fell and let's just zoom in on his head. And no, we all knew it.
And we talked about this like a couple of weeks ago, and even Roy said it, I said it, that we were all gonna miss Biden a little bit. Not now. I mean,
no.
There's Biden, 1.5 right there.
You know what our friends over at Bet Online should do is they should come up with a line. Set a line on who's going to fall next or who we're going to catch on camera. We're not going to say who's going to croak or who's going to kick it, but who's going to fall next. So anyway, there's Mitch the Glitch. That's not the first time he's done that.
Yeah. And let's be fair here because we were calling out Joe Biden when he was doing all this stuff too. And obviously, Republicans, Democrats, whatever, these guys are too old to be doing all these political things. Term limit. This is the epitome of term limits right here, man. This guy has no business doing what he's trying to do. Well, I mean, he can barely walk.
This is the part of this, like with Biden, with Pelosi, with him, and with with Maxine Waters, with all of these people that are like literally about to return to the dust soon. Why would you want to keep doing this at 137 years old? I don't plan on doing anything after like I'm 55. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Here's what I think. I think that these guys, one, money and power. That's the easy answer. But I think since they know that if they were to step aside and relinquish the reins, the world would come down on them. I think they have so much fear of their skeletons ever truly getting out that they have to stay there in order to protect themselves.
Yeah, and I think there needs to be a new rule in politics that if you're old and you fall, nobody can help you up. Because we need to see how brittle you really are. No, get up, get your own self up. No.
I mean, seriously, Mitch was one of those people that if you would say, I mean, and you guys have all seen the old people. I'm not making fun of old people. I'm just saying when you go to the grocery store and you see the old folks kind of confused about where they are, like trying to figure out where the milk is or the eggs, and you're over there like, "Oh, man, are you okay, ma'am?" And they're like, they give you that look with like deer in the headlights kind of thing. That's what Mitch looks like all the time. He doesn't know where he is.
Here's the deal, Tony. To your point, they've made it too easy for people to get old now. Like we don't retire them out. We just build them a better walker. Mm-hmm. Like you'll find Betty Lou sitting at the in aisle 7 at the Publix over there, looking at the Dinty Moore, trying to figure out which stew she. They got a little Bluetooth thing on her iPad that sits between her little aluminum alloy walker with the Mongoose bicycle brake system, and she's got that Corinthian leather seat. And she's just sitting there smoking a Marlboro Red, just daring somebody to test her.
Marlboro Red.
You got to be able to track her down with that little GPS on that deal. Yes. She ain't getting old. She's getting better. That's why there's more. That's why they have more sexually transmitted disease at the old folks' home than anywhere else in the world. These people are living life, bro.
Yeah, the only thing when I'm Mitch and Biden's age, the only thing I literally and I tell Kendra this all the time. The only thing I really look forward to is to be that old man in church in Walmart that's smacking kids with his cane. That's the only thing I really want to do. I don't want to be in the public. I damn sure don't want to be on screen talking. Y'all going, "Hey guys, it's Hot Seat Todd. Welcome back to the show." No, that's not going to happen. Like
it's lukewarm Todd.
It's lukewarm Todd. Hold on, I gotta drink my Ensure. Wait a minute.
Where's my teeth?
No, not at all.
Forgot his teeth.
Hey, can I tell you guys as we move on into something else that I'm excited to announce that racism is dead. It doesn't exist anymore. And thank you, Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL. In the NFL, they have removed the phrase "end racism" for the Super Bowl from the back line of the end zone. They're probably going to remove Colin Kaepernick from the front line of the unemployment department. But there it is. You see it right there, end racism. Every time I see that, I think I just love people not like me. Thank you, NFL, for this. Boys, how do y'all feel about that?
And Royce, you might have to look this up, but yeah, they took that off, but they added something else that is, you removed end racism, but you added it with something that basically means the same thing. Like I'm not.
What they add?
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it basically means the same thing. And Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, has already come out publicly and said the NFL is not removing DEI from its practices. They're not getting rid of the Rooney Rule. So no, still.
Yeah, he said that DEI is the best thing that's happened to the NFL.
Yeah. And
not true.
That's ridiculous. Like the fact that you are required as an owner to interview a minority, you're required to. That's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah. That's as dumb as when Colin Kaepernick came out and said that NFL is basically modern day slavery.
Yeah.
I mean, remember
he's
that
begging
video
for a job from Massa.
Yeah, he wanted it. He wanted to come back off, and but at the same time, you got to remember these guys are making $27 million a year, so that's some pretty good slavery. Anyway, there's something I want to get into.
Yeah,
I'll save it for my show this afternoon.
They're gonna add the phrase "choose love."
Choose
love instead of end racism.
I think they should change it from end racism to ramp up racism. I'm the most racist person here, dude. I cannot stand ignorant.
I told you,
ideology.
Kendra. You heard it. I
stupid
told
people.
you.
Come on.
I told you.
Well, stupid doesn't know color. I mean, ignorance is it's multifaceted. Like, and give me an intelligent person over, Bubba in the white trash down there with his washer and dryer sitting in the front yard that's been out there for 12 years. Like, I can't stand the white trash drives me crazy out there cooking meth and trying to hide it. I know a guy in Augusta, Georgia, where I grew up, who won the lottery, won $12 million. Not only won $12 million, but he was back the next day at the 7-Eleven playing the lottery again, and the news asked him what he was doing. He said, well, you never know. He thought he was going to win again. And then, you know what his plan was with that $12 million? He put mobile homes behind his house in a neighborhood and started meth labs back there. So he died in jail.
Well, any organization or company that
he was
is
white.
Promoting DEI is the definition of racism, because they are segregating a whole group because they need to hire people who are DEI, people. So that's literally the definition of being a racist organization. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's right. Taser
How about
Tony.
we change it to end corruption or something that everybody actually.
How about end stupidity?
How about just have nothing? There's a thought. How the Chiefs or the Eagles and have nothing.
How about
that's a good idea, actually.
How about we trot the gladiators out onto the field in the middle of the Coliseum with the ambition of ripping each other's heads off, while we have scantily clad women that are gorgeous, actual women, not gay dudes with a hip bump. I mean, actual women out there in short skirts, slinging their thing around, so we could pretend to be barbarians just for a little while.
Yes,
just for a couple of hours on Sunday.
I'm down for that.
We don't need to politicize our beer. We don't need to politicize our food. We don't need to politicize our games. Let's just go out there and for a little while go back to the base nature and be men that leave a cave and club something over the head every morning and drag the carcass back and either marry it or eat it, and sometimes both.
Yes. I've said it for years. Like, make steroids legal in professional sports. Like, I want to see a 250-pound linebacker that runs a 4.140 just decleat somebody and knock them in the first row of the stands and get up like salivating in the mouth like the dude on the program.
And if you wanted to be the pretty little boy that dated the cheerleader, and you wanted to be the quarterback because it was cool, and you decided to get out there on the field, then you should be free game that they can rip your skull off of your body and be like, tough luck, Garrett. You chose it. So there you go, buddy. Like, there you go.
I got some-
You
I
know
got-
what? You got the girls in high school. And
I got something that everybody would get behind. You could just put "and high prices" because everybody knows you go to those games, dude. You have to take like $500 with you to buy a hot dog and a beer. I mean, are you kidding me? Last time my wife and I went to one of those, we're like, can I get a Coke, a hot dog, and a pretzel? Sure, that'll be $375. I'm like, what?
Now get this. They got end racism out there on the back of the field. Now, how many times do you think the N word gets thrown around while they're out there playing? How many times do you think they're calling each other that? Back and forth across the line. Let me tell you something. Yeah, how many times do you think? And then you're going to put choose love. They're literally trying to bend your leg 90 degrees the wrong direction. Choose love. Choose love. Bro, this ain't the singles resort down in the Caribbean. This ain't the swingers club. Anyway, all right, Pam Bondi. She got sworn in.
Dude, this is the best.
Great.
This
Pam
is
Bondi.
the best.
I love Clarence Thomas. I love him so very much. Maybe it's because we ended racism. Thank you, NFL. But Clarence Thomas got to swear in our new Attorney General, Pam Bondi. She's wasting no time. Play the clip. I love this.
I, Pamela Bondi, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
I literally thought that was Christopher Waltz behind her. I swear to God, I thought that was Chris. I was like,
that I take
You want to take an oath?
that I take this obligation
I don't
freely,
like oaths.
any mental
literally thought that was.
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
You need more
and that I
cowbell.
will well and faithfully
Long.
discharge
All right, let's stop it right there.
I got a fever.
Just trust me, she finished it. Okay, just trust me. She.
Cowbell.
Yeah. You gotta have more oaths
need it.
in office.
Need it.
I don't want to take it, but I took it. Congratulations, Attorney General Pam Bondi. She's already said that she is going after the Epstein list. I can't love this enough. Newly confirmed U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. She's calling for the Epstein client list. Isn't it funny when they pop this up there, they immediately throw a picture of Bill Clinton next to her?
Yeah, hilarious.
Like, is anyone surprised? I've been to the Caribbean. I feel your pain.
Chad with the impressions today.
I know. Is that
So good,
Ghislaine?
man.
Is he standing there talking to Ghislaine
Yeah.
Maxwell? Okay.
Yeah,
and old Epstein.
And here come the trolls. Here come the trolls who'll say, "Oh yeah, that's Epstein back there. I can't recognize him. He's alive." Then of course there'll be people who post a picture of Donald Trump standing next to Epstein. Yeah, billionaires do tend to associate with other billionaires. I mean, I don't. And again, I've said this over and over. I don't care who he was associated with. He was associated with everybody. They named a wing at Harvard after him, okay? He was associated with everybody. I want to know who did the deeds. I want to get, and I don't want client 1, 2, 3. I don't want
Nope.
that. I want to know, was it Prince Andrew, whatever his name is, Andrew. I want to know who was there. Was it Bill Clinton? If Donald Trump's on the list, I want to know.
Yeah, I don't care whose name's on it. I just want to know who. And don't tell me for a second, because these people like this, Epstein, the diddler, they're not stupid. They know, they have all of this information because they are CYA. And just in case somebody wants to blow, you want to blow a whistle? Look at this Polaroid right here. They've got all of it. And the fact that we still don't know tells you everything you need to know about your government.
Every bit of it. I want to know. And again, the reason he could keep these people quiet for so long is because he's got the tapes, dude. He's got the tapes. He's got the footage. He's got all the stuff. He's got the pictures. He kept a file on everybody. So, yeah, and you're right, Striker J, the entire royal family. You're not wrong. They're all part of a sex trafficking ring. You know what you saw the other day at the Grammys? You saw one big child sex trafficking ring.
You sure did.
And I'm unapologetic about that. That is one demonic display. What you watched is their self-aggrandizing ceremony to themselves of a child sex trafficking pedo ring. That's all the Grammys are. That's all the royal family is. That's all most of our bureaucratic government is. I'm telling you, you don't have that type of lewd, lascivious evil dwelling in your midst unless people are condoning it and the higher-ups are approving of it.
Facts.
So let's get to the absolute bottom of it. And I'm unapologetic about the whole thing.
I think Pam Bondi's going to make it happen, man.
I think she is.
Man, I
Listen,
hope so.
and I know a lot of quote celebrities. I know a lot of like John Rich, for instance. Everybody knows and loves John Rich from Big and Rich.
Love John Rich.
He'll tell you how many places he's been invited, how many of those little deals he's been invited to, and he's like, absolutely not.
Cat Williams too.
Cat Williams,
Williams too.
I mean, Cat Williams turned the thing on its ear, right? Oh boy, let it go, let her rip, man. And you know what?
Who would you guys be surprised to see on the Epstein list? And I know it's a huge. I mean, we got the Clintons, we got the Epstein. I mean,
Are
not
you
the Epsteins,
asking
the
surprised,
Weinsteins,
or who would I like to see?
I mean,
Well,
like
sure, I'm talking
Franklin
about
Graham
surprise
might be a
because-
mind blow.
Who would?
Yeah, like Franklin Graham might be a mind blow, but I don't. I think we're fine there.
What about you,
But-
live chat? Who do you guys think? Who would you guys be surprised with to see on that Epstein list? I mean, the list goes from when did it start? Like back in the early '80s? Or
If they are a Hollywood celebrity, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're on the list.
At all.
If they consider or are considered a rich Hollywood celebrity. You know what I'm saying? If The Rock was on there, I wouldn't be surprised.
Not surprised.
If John Cena was on there, I wouldn't be surprised.
Would you be surprised if Trump was literally on it?
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not, because we all know Trump before he became the person he is now. He used to party like crazy. There's pictures of videos of him
It
in
caused
New
some
York.
problems.
So
If it was confirmed, if like undeniably Trump was there, he did things, whatever. It caused a lot of problems, man. And
Yeah,
yeah, no,
didn't stand
I'm not
behind
saying
it.
that it wouldn't. I'm just saying back
And
in
here-
the day, he used to be a womanizer. He used to, you know.
But was he a child?
A child. That's the
That's
difference.
the
that's
question.
really-
yeah.
issue.
I don't think
Yeah.
the child thing, but no, I think he went over to I think he partied with them for sure. I mean,
Oh, he partied
just-
with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
partied
So-
with
There
them.
you go. That's that's the best name I've seen yet. I would be 100% as far as Hollywood. Keanu Reeves. If Keanu Reeves is on it,
That would
I'm
be a
going to
big
be
surprise.
surprised.
That would
That's
be a big
that's
surprise,
a good
yeah.
one
Yeah.
right there, Chad.
I think he's a
Henry
good guy.
Cavill, I'm seeing
I think
Chad
Keanu.
Prather.
Chad Prather, yeah.
No,
That wouldn't surprise me.
I will tell you this, and I ran for office here in Texas a couple of years ago. One of the things I used to tell everybody is I said, I've never been with a man, I've never kissed a woman that didn't want it, and I never touched a kid. So there you go. I mean,
That
beyond
you know
that,
of. That you know of.
I mean, I think all the women I kissed were women.
I'm talking about the man thing.
I mean, let's define with. Because, again, and I think there are some nuances of this whole deal, because you say, okay, maybe Trump did this, he partied with Epstein, but it wasn't with a 12-year-old. And I hate the graphic nature of this conversation. I really do, because nothing disgusts me more. You know, as a father of four, nothing disgusts me more.
I'm with you.
And you look at something like this, and it's like, I look at this stuff, and I go, listen, I got a past, so I'm the least judgmental person in the world. When they used to ask me about my skeletons in my closet, I said, there ain't no closet. Everybody knows my stuff. We burn the closet down. We put the skeletons in the front yard like a Halloween decoration, dude. Skeletons were everywhere. But again, we've all lived a life. We've done these things. But when you get to that upper echelon of that billionaire class or that multimillionaire class, that elitist, the thing that I have, Tony, is you have people who even if they didn't participate in it, by their silence condoned it. You know, like, did Oprah know what Harvey Weinstein was doing to these young actresses? Did they know, you know, the casting couch stuff, the things that were going on? Obviously, they did. Did they know that Roman Polanski, when Meryl Streep stands up and gives him a standing ovation, that he was raping a 13-year-old? Did they know that Woody Allen was having an affair with his 15-year-old adopted daughter that's now his wife? Who knew these things? That's the thing that bothers me. And so we got to get to the bottom of all of it. I mean, dismantle the whole deal. I can live without the movies. They all suck anyway. And most of the music, if you're going to give Country Album of the Year to Beyonce, I can do without the country music industry as well.
Totally.
I got a guitar. I can play my own songs.
Yeah, no,
me.
I mean,
Where's
that's
my
spot
guitar?
on. That is spot on there, Chad. No, you're right. I mean, all these people who knew of all the child, everything, trafficking, you know, raping, you know, it's sick in nature, because obviously, you know, I'm a father of 3 and now I have a granddaughter.
Yeah.
To even think that my child would be put in that situation, it just boils my blood. I mean, anytime I think about it, all these people that knew, all the elites, all the people with money, they're just taking advantage of all these young innocent girls, and they all need to be punished, if not in this life, in the next, because I'm sure their time is coming.
Yeah.
Well, if you want it
Let's,
to happen,
let's-
I've said it before and I say it again. President Trump, Pam, you don't have to release the list. You don't. Just send it to me. That's all you got to
Yeah,
do.
let me put up that disclaimer
Well,
one more time.
I remember Todd. Remember when Todd used to come on the show? Yeah, we haven't
he's-
seen him
He's
forever.
doing God's work right now.
Yeah, all right, let's just slide on over to the next ad.
Slide on
Yes,
over. Slide
Voices
on
like, let's go.
over. Hey, Patriot Mobile, they're our friends, man. Glenn and the gang over there, when they started that company, they did a great thing, and they've been a huge supporter of our show, both mine and Graham's for a long time. PatriotMobile.com/Graham. They have been the leader in being America's only Christian conservative wireless company. They use the same towers, so when you switch over to Patriot Mobile, you don't have to worry about losing coverage or dropping calls or anything like that. The beauty of it is when you pay your bill with the big three out there, a portion of your bill goes to leftist progressive causes, things like Planned Parenthood. They support things you don't. Patriot Mobile doesn't do that. They support the things you believe in, like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, your right to life and your right to bear arms. They've got a plan that'll fit your family's budget. I promise you they can take care of you. And if you call them at 972-PATRIOT, they're U.S.-based customer service team will help you all the way through. Tell them Graham sent you. They might even give you free activation, but they'll give you a free month when you go over there and sign up at patriotmobile.com/Graham. You like your phone number? You can keep your phone number, but you just need a new phone. They'll switch all that over. They'll take care of whatever combination of stuff you need so you can stay in touch. So patriotmobile.com/Graham and use offer code Graham. Do it. All right.
Do it.
You think Trump's got carpal tunnel yet from signing all these executive orders?
I'm sure his hand probably looks like this morning.
Well, his signature ain't an easy one. He's pretty specific.
I've got it over here.
This
Pretty nice.
blessed my heart yesterday. Graham was in the room. Graham Allen was there. He was just over there. If you're looking at the screen, he was to the left of the president, the right of the president, but to our left. And all these little girls up here, I'm amazed that Donald Trump was able to be in that close of proximity, surrounded by these young children, and he managed to not sniff a single one of
Not
them.
one.
Not one head got sniffed. Can you imagine the overload of the senses Joe Biden would have? He would want to grab every one of these kids. He'd be buried in every head there. I mean, but this is amazing. Thank you to the people out there, the Riley Gaines and on down, all these people who have been outspoken for the right to women to have their own sports without being invaded by biological males. The fact that we're living in the 21st century, and this is something we have to have a discussion about, let's put a GG in the chat. Go girls. Go girls. GG. Go girls.
Go
How about
girls.
that? Little GG. Go girls. Blow it up in the chat. Let me see it before we play the clip. I love this so much. I was so encouraged by this. And finally, and it's amazing to me that the libs are still going to melt down over this, that you got dudes, biological dudes, that decided it was a good idea to put on a one-piece bathing suit and jump in the pool with a bunch of girls and beat the heck out of them. GG in the chat. Go girls.
During his speech, before he actually signed it, he was talking about some of these cases where biological men had beat these women in sports. Some of the cases are like, a biological man beat a top triathlon runner or whatever it was by like 5.5 hours.
Oh, yeah, it's insane.
Destroyed the women's
it's
record by
insane.
5.5 hours. Powerlifting beat this woman by 400 and something pounds.
Yeah.
Like, of course.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable. And he mentioned it, and we've talked about it before, but it's sad that he even had to do this, that they have to hold this, and he has to sign this. Like, how dare we allow that ever to become a thing?
Yeah. To your
Like,
point,
it's
Royce,
so
he
sad.
He
5
did
hours.
He did mention all that. He was saying that, isn't it ridiculous that we have to even do something like this? I mean, it should just be common sense, not let
He
men
talked
play
about that
women's-
boxer, the girl who was boxing in the Olympics, Olympic boxer, champion, and got beat, had to be, bow out after like 30 seconds because this guy was just pummeling her into the floor. Like, it's so sad.
Look no further than the Riley thing. That dude was ranked 554th as a man went from 554 as a man to the #1 swimmer in the country.
Oh, and then didn't even sandbag, smoked him on 7 straight races.
Yeah.
One race he won by 63 seconds.
Insane.
I mean, that's
Insane.
unheard of it in swimming. But it beat him by a full minute, dude. So anyway, hey,
Let's watch
this bill right here before you play it, Royce. This just solidifies the fact that there shall be no balls in women's sports. Play it.
You want to do this? Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pens, okay? Are you ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that. I want to make this a really good signature, because this is
Really
this is a
good
big one, right?
signature.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
We have a 10.
Yeah, little GG, go girls.
What I love about this whole
Pretty good, huh?
clip here.
Okay.
I'll let it finish.
Good. Now you're going to go out.
I love it, dude.
What I
I
love about
paused it
this
so you
whole
can talk.
what I love about this whole clip was before he started signing, he said, "Can I bring all the girls on here? I mean, if the Secret Service has a problem with these girls, we don't have to worry about these girls, right? Just to get them down there."
Yeah.
It's just that's the human side. That's just the common sense, and you can see that he looked around and he's like, let's bring everybody down here, to witness the signature of the executive order. All the girls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a wonderful thing right there, man. He is literally a father, a grandfather of a family who knows that this is just common sense. You don't let men play in women's sports. It's just unheard of that we even have to do something like this.
But how many
It's
moments,
sickening,
how
actually.
many amazing, how many moments did we have during the entire Biden administration where we actually could look at, with center minds and go, oh, that was a cool moment.
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
I had a troll, I put stuff on my Instagram where we talk about everything, and I have trolls that come on there and say, well, you never call Trump out. Well, if you watch my show, I actually do. We did yesterday on the Gaza statement.
Both of us did.
And we did on this show as well. And I'm like, but I will tell you this, for all the things that I've said about Donald Trump critically over the years, I would run through a wall for that man.
Yeah.
I'd run through a wall for that
man.
for stuff just like that. And Tony, back to your point, he might have been a womanizer. He might have, been sleeping around with his wife. He might have been. Hey, listen, everybody's got a past. Everybody's done things. I'm not excusing that. I wasn't there. That's between him and God. Right. But let me tell you something. What he's doing now, he gives me the most access to my freedoms that I value than anybody else and any other opportunity. Tell me Ron DeSantis would be moving at this pace. And I know Ron DeSantis is a fine guy. I consider Ron DeSantis great guy, whatever. He might be a little more establishment than I like, but I'm telling you, you think Ron DeSantis, if he'd have been the president, that he'd be moving at this kind of pace? You think you'd be talking about USAID? You think you'd be talking about, and I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but he's not.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually do think he would have. Ron DeSantis,
I don't think he
I've
would.
met him.
Really?
I think you've met him. Ron
I've been around
DeSantis is
Ron.
all business. He's not as fun as Trump, but he's
Yeah.
all business, and he does get crap done.
Does.
He's just not a good face for America, but he's America's governor. I still
He's
think that.
America's
He does
governor.
do a
There's no
good
question
job.
about it. He buries the guy we got here in Texas. I mean, the guy we got here in Texas is a joke. But I'm telling you, Ron DeSantis, I just don't think he would. And the reason why is Ron DeSantis hasn't been shot at. Like, he hasn't been indicted 91 times. Trump has a chip on his shoulder, and I'm okay with it. They went through Melania's underwear drawer. Melania, get ready. They're going after these people. They went through her son's stuff in the bedroom at Mar-a-Lago. And so and listen, don't take that negative Ron DeSantis. I love Ron DeSantis. I consider Ron a buddy. He's my buddy, man. I love that guy. But Trump is breakneck speed, dude. I'd run through a wall for this guy for stuff just like this. And this is the kind of thing I think Ron DeSantis would have done this. Like, this is the kind of thing I think he would have done. Would he have brought Elon Musk in there to expose everything? I don't think so, but
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, but North Carolina had this to say. Here's another reason why you got to love Trump. The folks in North Carolina said, the Army Corps of Engineers said, the reason it's getting done, the resources are now surging to Western North Carolina. Not a coincidence that these machines are now out here in Western North Carolina. It's all because of Trump's executive order. Getting it done. getting it done. You might talk about, there are people out there who talk about, well, he's violating certain things like checks and balances, and he's basically taken the executive office to this high area, this thing where it's out of control. And I'm like, I think we need a boss. I think we do. Not a dictator, and he's not doing that because dictators don't let you keep your guns. But I think we do need somebody who's willing to step up and punch through the smoke and say, let's get this done. This is common sense.
Yeah.
This is common sense.
Yeah, it's too easy. Like, I mean, and I was going to say this before Chad did the amazing intros and I spit my coffee out. I got to admit, like, I'm kind of ashamed of us right now a little bit. Like our founding fathers, the great men that we've had, the men and women we've had lead this country, in our nation's short history, would seriously be ashamed of us right now that we've allowed this type of deep-seated corruption to go without any checks. And now we see, and I hope all of you, all 11, 12,000 of you that are watching right now, I hope y'all now understand that this is what happens when you sit on the bench and on the sidelines for so long.
Well, I think Democrats from the past would have been sickened by this too.
Yeah,
Historic
for sure.
Democrats, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I think regardless, Democrat, Republican or not, there is a side that went way too far.
Yep.
Way too far. And I'm not going to say that we just sat around and let it happen because we weren't happy about it. But I do firmly believe that they cheated back in 2020. And I'm actually happy that happened that way. But, man, a lot of crap went on between there that we can't be proud of as a nation.
No.
And, I've actually mentioned – I've had conversations in the past where it's like, you think these other nations, like, think about what they did in their history and are, like, ashamed by it? Like, you think, like, like Germans are over there being like, yeah, we got that thing on our shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Americans are like, yeah, I mean, I guess we had slavery back in the day or whatever. But I think at some point in the future, Americans are going to look back and be like, yeah, those years with Joe Biden, we did some pretty jacked up stuff. We did some pretty whack stuff, man. And our nation's going to be, like, ashamed of it. Well, that's how bad it was, man. This transgenders in women's sports, like, that's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah.
That alone, amongst dozens of other things, it's pretty shameful.
I mean, this is also one of those situations where we're like, this should just be common sense. Our fellow citizens are needing help because of the hurricane. They're still trying to get help over there, and we are reporting this because there's clips there where it should have just been common sense. Their homes and all their property got destroyed from a hurricane, so our tax dollars should have gone there, boom, right away. But it took somebody like Donald Trump to come in office to help get that process started because the Biden administration did nothing but give them $750 if you could even get that. I mean, it's just
pitiful.
It's just common sense that we were missing for the last 4 years. And that's why when people ask me, why did you vote for him, was because we need somebody in there who's a leader, who's a businessman, who knows how to run the country and who knows how and what's important to this, to our great country is to protect the citizens, whether you're left, right, middle, whatever. Everybody's part of this country. We all need to come together and try to rebuild this country together, even if the lefts don't want it. I mean, sometimes you have to do things that people don't like because it's for the best of the country.
I'm curious to know, though, in the chat, I'm gonna stir the pot here a little bit before we move forward. I just want to see if people in the chat want to come together. Like, I agree with you, Tony. We got to come together. I mean, a bird with just one wing ain't a healthy bird. I mean, it's okay. I mean, our founding fathers believed in disagreeing and debating and dialoguing and discussing and dueling if it took it. But again, they had a foundational principle that brought them back together. See, we've lost that foundational principle that unifies us. Because again, if we agree with something, if we like something, or if Trump says it, I don't care how radical it is, you're going to have people out there who are going to go, Trump did it, so we don't like it. So I think people do want to come together, but I think that everybody's got to come back to the spirit of unity, which is a hard thing to do. And again, it's the melting pot thing, right, Tony? I mean, it's assimilating. It's coming back to those values. And these days we've got it's like a mixture. It's not a melting. And so that's when you got the blue and the red and the green and the yellow M&Ms and they're not one. So
I hate to say this, but I don't think it's possible anymore. I just don't.
I don't think it's possible
I
when,
don't.
when you don't have people with critical thinking or common sense.
Yeah, well,
and the progressive left, to Tony's point, has gone so far off the reservation. I mean, they jumped off the tip of the wing, dude.
Yeah, because it's not we're not having political arguments anymore like we did in the Reagan era and the early 90s. This is not about taxes or infrastructure or military or DOD funding or any. No, we're not having those battles right now. We literally just had a U.S. president had to sign an executive order to ban men from women's sports. Like, we're having moral arguments now. That, oh my God, there is literally emoji on your phone of a pregnant man, and you can't have conversations like this roosterfish mouth breathing rock with lips that's in the chat right now that has changed his username like 17 times just so he can keep being an idiot. You can't argue with these people. Like, you can't talk to them.
Well, you can't reason with them. I mean, we had Sarah Gonzalez on my show who went out to the anti-deportation rallies, and she's just trying to have a conversation. She's spitting facts. And they're assaulting her with Mexican flags.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, have a conversation. I've never been to one of these protest or rallies where they actually had anything to say. You know, I was in D.C. for CPAC a few years ago, and the guy that was the head of Antifa was there. And he kept talking about, I'm an anti-fascist. I said, well, that makes two of us. I mean, you know, but tell me, let's have this conversation. And he couldn't do it. He was just a simp. And so, you know, I look at these folks and I go, I can't reason with you. I can't debate with you. You're just gonna call me names. I mean, there's so many people they've made a name for themselves by the big FUs and all these things that they want to throw out there. And I'm like, listen, we can throw F-bombs back and forth at each other all day long. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change the algebraic equation that we got a mess here that's got to get fixed. And if you are out there defending the idea that your federal government's using your taxpayer dollars to fund Egyptian tourism, or, you know, transgender studies in the Sudan, you are a problem. Like, critical thinking's done.
I mean, I want to agree with the fact that you guys are saying that it's impossible at this point to come back together. But the reality is there will be a new generation of Americans that come up, right? That are, I think, more level-headed, especially with everything that we're going to improve and fix under Trump. And hopefully with this common sense that's coming back to America, you know, winning the popular vote and everything. I think that we can keep hold of that for a while. But realistically, I think there is no hope if we don't put God first. You know, where we're talking about putting God back into schools, putting Bibles back into schools, putting God in front of our country. I think as long as Democrats keep trying to remove that aspect of it, there will be no unity, because that's the biggest dividing line right there.
Yeah, well, every time you extend the olive branch across the aisle and they cut it with a pair of shears, you can't do it.
Well,
it's a fair point. You're optimistic about Gen Z, but what else?
I have one more thing to say, because I have to stay optimistic, because I have daughters, I have a granddaughter, and I pray to God that we can come together and make this country and, you know, unite and make this country better. But it's going to take a strong leader from the left side to just say, you know, enough's enough. All that, the 4 years that Biden was here, it was just crap. We need to move closer to being in the middle with our fellow politicians over here to get this country back on track. But it is going to take a very strong leader to come out and try to unite everybody and try to get everybody on the same page. Because obviously, you try to do everything with you know, the conservatives, the liberals are not going to like it. You try to do everything the liberals, as we saw in the last 4 years, the conservatives are not going to like it. So we're going to have to find a middle ground there where conservatives and liberals can work together and try to make this country and try to heal the country, because we saw with the Obama administration, he put a wedge between our country that we still haven't recovered from. And everybody keeps saying it's Trump, but it was Obama. Obama started all that crap, and we just haven't been able to recover yet.
Right. It's good to be alive, ain't it?
It is.
I want everybody to just think about for a second. Isn't it good to be alive?
It's
and the fact that
wonderful to
we
be
can
alive.
sit here and have this fun conversation and talk about this stuff. And what a great time to be alive, dude. I mean, and you know, Donald Trump, he hung the picture of Reagan back up in the White House. Put that thing up there. There he is, old Dutch, in the Oval Office. And you know what? Reagan wasn't perfect either. Reagan did a lot of things politically. I mean, we hold him up as an example, but he didn't do everything right politically either. No man's going to. No woman's going to. But man, I love seeing Ronnie right up there, man.
I like
that's
seeing
fantastic.
that over a bust of George Floyd in the
I don't
Oval
need to
Office.
see George Floyd. I don't need to see,
Ever again.
I don't need to see Hugo Chavez, like the Biden administration did. I mean, why are we celebrating Hugo Chavez? I don't need to see any of that stuff. Put Ronnie up there. I mean,
Amen.
Reagan ended communism, dude. And, well, you know what I mean.
Gorbachev.
I mean,
Tear down
it's
this
a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Hey, throw some life in the comments. LIFE. Put a little life. It's a good day to be a life. Just you're a life.
A life.
just put life in the comment, dude. Blow up the chat. And if you want to throw an American flag in there, I ain't gonna be mad at it. Hey, before we go any further, you guys know that Super Bowl Sunday is on the way. Who you got? You got the Chiefs. Do you have the Eagles? Well, you can put your money where your mouth is over at betonline.ag. They got the lines out there, and it's a pretty even line. Head over to betonline.ag. There's a lot of gambling enthusiasts out there that like to play. They like to sports bet a little bit. And if that's entertainment for you, ain't no judgment here. I kind of enjoy it myself. In fact, I got a little bit on the Kansas City Chiefs from the very
really?
beginning,
Nah,
the beginning of the
man.
season.
You know what?
From the beginning of the season, Todd.
I don't want to bet. I really don't want to bet against Pat Mahomes, but I'm telling you that just something tells me.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Pound for pound.
Eagles, Eagles, fly, Eagles, fly.
I just can't do it. They're a liberal organization. They're owned by liberals, run by liberals. The front office is liberals. They're liberal. And
the
the Chiefs are not that way. But besides that, I'm not I think the Eagles are a better team, pound for pound. But the Chiefs do have the refs in their pocket, so you might want to think about
they
that.
do.
And but I put a little money on the Chiefs at the very beginning of the season, back during the preseason. I said I think the Chiefs are going to whatever Pete. I mean they've won. Is this a three-peat for them?
Yep.
I don't
Would
even
be.
know. So it would be. But it's a pretty even deal. I like to see people blowing it up. Chiefs, Eagles, go Eagles. I just can't pull for Philadelphia anything. And don't hate me for that. I'm just not a Philadelphia as a city fan.
I have to. They got a bunch of Alabama players over there.
Dude, I'm the last person to root for the Eagles. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I think
too. Me
Barkley
too.
is gonna go off, dude. He's a freaking beast with that
there's a-
offensive line, man.
There's a lot of. Let me just say right here. There's a lot of Georgia players over there on that front line over there at the Eagles too. But I'm sorry.
At the Eagles.
Still got to go with the Chiefs this week. I'm headed out to Vegas tomorrow. Not for I go out for a little party. Watch the game. I just basically bet on the length of the. I like to bet on the length of the national anthem. I don't know if people knew that. You can do that.
Or how
This-
many there will be.
This is 120 and a half seconds. So you got 2 minutes and half a second. If it's under that, then you win. So what can anybody singing the national anthem should keep it under 2 minutes. Okay.
Please.
Mariah Carey, anybody should.
Yeah, please.
So anyway, betonline.ag. Go over there and check them out. They got politics betting as well. That's enough time on all of that stuff. Trump, the Elon protesters, they were out there. Man, they were out there in the cold. They were braving the weather, the elements. Oh, wait, no, the anti-Elon,
weren't.
anti-Dutch protesters, they
Just
left.
kidding.
It was too cold. All seven of them. I love what Nick Sorter says. He says, imagine claiming someone is literally Hitler and then deciding they're not Hitler enough to protest in the cold. I mean, you gotta give it to the Russians. The Russians somehow managed in eastern Russia in 12 inches of snow, 3 foot of snow to fight off the Nazis as they were freezing to death. But again, this guy right here that crawled off of his mama's basement futon couldn't stomach 36 degrees out there. Play the clip.
So there's supposed to be more anti-Elon, anti-Doge protests out here at the U.S. Capitol tonight, and you can see it's extremely quiet. People packing up their signs and going home because they were canceled. The protests
See
were
ya.
canceled because it's too cold outside. You would think when you're calling somebody literally Hitler and Trump and Elon are Nazis, you'd think that maybe it's a little bit cold outside. It's like 36 degrees. You'd still come out if you actually believe these people were Hitler. They're just regurgitating talking points from the mainstream media, from the legacy media, telling them to say these things, and they don't believe any of them at the end of the day. It's all a big farce. It's a farce that the American people are no longer believing. That time is over. The legacy media has lost their grip. The Democrats have lost the plot totally.
Oh, so he's
And
trolling them.
you can see
Yeah, he's
it's just
trolling
not
them.
working.
Gotcha.
It's
He's
one
trolling
of the
them.
quietest nights out here at the Capitol that I've seen in a very, very long time.
Love it.
36 degrees. Are you kidding me? Come
And
on.
can we be honest? 2 points here. Number one, they were just giving Donald Trump crap for moving his inauguration inside because it's cold. And number two, let's be honest. The reason they didn't show up is because they tried to renegotiate their contract for even coming to begin with because of the temperature. The Democrats said, dude, our funding just getting stopped right now. We can't afford it. And so we're going home.
Yeah, but you know, they're going there to protest Elon and exposing funding like this, $100 million in taxpayer money to treat HIV in Ukraine.
Well, there is a party scene in Kyiv. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
So
But why is our money going there?
$50 million
Why?
in rubbers to Gaza,
It's
but we
being
got to make
laundered,
sure
boys.
Kyiv gets their HIV medicine. This is the kind of stuff that everybody should be pissed off about. I mean, everybody should be mad about this stuff. You're sending billions of dollars over there. They're only getting less than half of it. But yet we still got to send $100 million. Where do you honestly think that money went
Not even close.
to treat people with
not
HIV
even close.
in Ukraine?
Not even close.
I mean,
And the fact that somebody, okay, because here's the reality. We all know this is laundering. We all know that this money's being taken back somewhere and washed or whatever. But the fact that somebody's like, what's a good reason why we need to launder $100 million? Oh, let's just say to treat HIV in Ukraine. Who's coming up with this crap?
yeah.
Because
Well,
you're right. There's no way it's for this.
I haven't
No.
confirmed this, but I think they're opening up a new bank over there called Biden Financial. But you know, I just we'll confirm it later on in the week. So
Welcome to Bidenancial International
Bidenancial.
Banking.
Biden Angel.
Oh, man. I've been saying forever we need a full audit of this stuff. USAID and the CIA bombshell report. Michael Schellenberger reveals revelations that USAID and the CIA have ties to Trump's impeachment. Is anyone shocked? Anyone shocked? I want to see your surprised face emoji. No, don't even do that. Just whatever. You'll spend all day looking for it. Like, that's harder than finding the black swimmer emoji. All right, like that's hard to find. You gotta. I would say give the middle finger emoji, but don't do that either. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Nobody's shocked. Just say you're not shocked.
Oh, Lord.
Have you ever tried to find the black swimmer emoji?
No.
No. You gotta hit the thing and then drag it way over. Be like, how did Tyrone die?
Chad is
Takes a
on
while.
fire, man.
It takes a while to respond with an emoji. Okay, it just does. Anyway,
Wow.
oh Lord, it's not even that funny. All right,
It was pretty funny.
USAID paid Hollywood stars. This ticks me off. To travel to Ukraine to get pictures with Zelensky. Read those numbers, somebody. I can't do it. It makes me want to vomit. Wait. Your vocals,
mic's off.
your audio went off. Hit that mic again. No, you can't
No,
hear you.
you sound like you're in a tunnel. I'll read it. USAID paid Hollywood stars to travel to Ukraine to get pictures with Zelensky. Van Damme, $1.5 million. Ben Stiller, $4 million. Sean Penn, $5 million. Orlando Bloom, $8 million. And Angelina Jolie, $20 million.
Listen, if I had $20 million to blow for a picture with Angelina Jolie, I ain't saying I wouldn't waste that money. Like I'm like, but I want to go back to like 2010 Angelina.
Like
Not
the
the
movie
one that's been-
Wanted. The movie Wanted.
Not
Angelina.
the Botoxed up, beat down, skinnified.
Like the Laura Croft, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, like Laura Croft, Angelina Jolie. You want to talk about.
My stomach hurts.
But that ought to piss everybody off. I mean, really, that ought to, as Graham would say, what the flying crap? I don't give a flying crap.
I don't give a balls.
$20 million for a photo op? Like, and they picked, I mean, you're going to pay that much money and you're going to photo op with the looks of people like Ben Stiller and Sean Penn? Those guys break the camera. You'd have to have a budget to rebuild the camera. Those guys are ugly. But we knew they were doing this. This is the thing. Everybody got mad at us for calling this stuff out, and we were just all these people were saying, "Oh, you guys, why do you care? Y'all just cry about it, cry harder. Here's a tissue. Why do you care?" I care because it was $20 million of my money that they were using to set this propaganda up. Yeah, I'm not. Go back to Can you imagine going back to World War II? World War II, we're going to send our actors over, and we're going to pay them money to sit down with Winston Churchill for a photo op. Like we're going to send Jimmy Stewart. We're going to go over there and do that. I mean, what are we doing here? So when you talk about, why haven't we seen real conflict footage from Ukraine over the last couple of years?
Exactly.
Why haven't we seen it? These people love to show the rubble in Gaza. They love to show the torn down hospitals, women and children, this and that. Oh, the genocide. They haven't shown much of anything in Ukraine. Oh, I know you can go out there and pull a little slide, but come on.
And everything that happened in Israel, between Israel and Palestine, was shown 24 hours a day. And you mean to tell me you ain't got one picture, one video, one anything? Everything I've seen from Ukraine in the last 4 years, it's like you said earlier, Chad, is a nightclub scene in Kiev.
Yeah.
And they all look fine to me.
And to your point, Chad, I mean, we all knew this was happening, or we suspected it was happening. Obviously, the evidence is coming out now with them doing their investigations. But I mean, for all the people on the left, how does this not sicken you to know that $20 million went to Angelina Jolie to launder or whatever it is to go take pictures with Zelensky over there, while we have our citizens here dying from living on the street, kids not having food. I'm not even talking about immigrants. I'm talking about just the regular U.S. citizens over here dying, but we're giving that person $20 million. How does this not sicken you? I mean, we all know how much groceries cost and how much electricity is going up, the fuel cost. How does this not absolutely just say to you guys to grab a lefty and say, look, grab him by the freaking neck and say, look what's going on, look what's happening? How do you guys still support stuff like this? It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
You didn't get wartime footage, but you got pictures on Vanity
Still
Fair.
bad, Royce. Still bad.
Royce, it sounds like your ambient is coming through on like your computer's mic instead of your actual mic. So you might need to switch your setting, go in there and check your setting to do that thing. While you're doing that button, let's hit another button. He's the man who pushes all the toys and makes the noise. This is a story. I talked about it extensively on my show yesterday. By the way, my show will be an hour earlier today. Royce has things to do, but I'll be on at 1:12 Central, so at noon Central Time, God's time, Texas time. USAID, this is revealing so much. So $35 million went to Politico. Now, basically, Politico has become Lenin's Russian Pravda. The difference is Pravda knew that they were a propaganda machine. Politico was being used. Beginning in 2020, when Biden took office, they saw an uptick in subscriptions that had no rhyme or reasons as to why they did, to the tune of $8 million in subscription money. And then they saw that once they could buy them off, they bought them off to the tune of $34 million. They gave them exclusive access. Throw that clip up there, the $35 million, if you can, Royce. We might have totally lost Royce. I don't know. But you've got this, you can see the graphs of when the money went up, but $34 million that goes to them from USAID. So that means they bought a totally corrupt propaganda arm to use for the federal government, for the Biden administration specifically. So remember when the New York Times was pushing COVID disinformation and banning you for talking out about it? They labeled you as disinformation. They were actually using Politico to propagate the message from the New York Times. This is the biggest, I'm underplaying it right now because I could go off the rails. This is the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest U.S. media scandal in the history of our country.
In history. Yeah. And I'll go off the rails for you because, like, me and Graham had several conversations during this time period. And it was Graham, Chad, several up-and-comers guys that were, like, putting out the truth during COVID, talking about the COVID vaccination. Basically, you had two sides to this that have come out so far. You had the New York Times that was paid millions of dollars to push misinformation about COVID, about the COVID vaccination, and then you had this raggedy piece of garbage Politico that was paid $34 million to fact check and basically destroy influencers and accounts such as a Chad Prather or a Graham Allen. I've heard so many stories from fellow influencers because I'm so new to this that I didn't have to go through this. But like, yeah, dude, man, I had this many views, this many this many that, and then all of a sudden, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything shut. YouTube, everybody shut us down. Like, one guy, I was on his show like a year ago. He said, dude, they didn't just silence me. He said, YouTube deleted my account. He's like, I literally went to bed one morning and I had like 1 point something million followers on YouTube. I literally woke up the next morning and my account was gone.
This is, if you notice at the top of this post right here where it says Sinclair Incorporated. So we talked about this on my show. Sinclair owns all the media markets in every place across the country. That's why you've seen those clips of people reading a teleprompter and then the other person across the country is reading the same script from the teleprompter. It's the same copy. It all comes from Sinclair. So we know they've been controlling the narrative forever. But the federal government, specifically the Biden administration, because it started in 2020, $34.3 million to control the messaging. Absolutely insane that this is going on. Politico is done. CBS, by the way, after we found out what they did with the Kamala Harris interview, CBS needs to be done. This is the reason CNN is in all the airports, because nobody's watching that. Same with The View. I'm convinced, I can't prove it yet, but they need to be done, because I guarantee you they've been propped up by the USAID arm of the funding from the federal government. Politico, this is why they got pissed off last week whenever they said they're going to take them and rotate them out of the Pentagon. They can't keep an office there in the Pentagon for the press briefings.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
they've been paid to be there. They can't make their payroll. As of yesterday, they made a statement. They said for the first time, Politico can't make their payroll. Wonder why? They can't pay people. They're like 40 days in arrears of their pay schedule. You know why? Because the money's getting cut off.
So, Chad, I'm going to ask you a weird question here.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to ask you a weird, because I know how you feel about all this stuff.
Uh-oh.
All right, now, as far as Politico is concerned, this right here should be treasonous. Everybody that was involved in this right here, as far as fact checking goes. As far as fact checking, people like Chad Prather, like Graham Allen, like Dr. Peter McCullough, and Joe Rogan during this whole COVID pandemic, this is not okay. But New York Times putting out misinformation and disinformation, isn't that free speech?
Can they put out disinformation?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. But getting paid for it by the federal government, that's a whole nother thing.
Again, I believe in the free market of ideas. You can say whatever you want to say. You want to print lies, print lies. That's why we have satire sites, we have joke sites. That's why the Babylon Bee exists. Some people
That's the
think
whole
the Babylon.
reason I'm on this show.
I mean, humor, satire, sarcasm, hyperbole, all of those things they're all parts of free speech. You can do that. That's why when Tim Walz gets up there and says we're going to get rid of misinformation and disinformation, and the First Amendment just doesn't apply. Yes, it does. But when the federal government is funding it to make it a propaganda arm, again, now you're back in 1918 Russia, Vladimir Lenin, Pravda, which stood for truth. It was anything but the truth. It is a brainwashing technique that's going to continue, because, again, many people have said this over and over again. You want to brainwash people, or if you want to get people on your, into your propaganda, you just repeat it. You just keep saying it over and over and over again. So I guarantee if you guys go to Google and type out Politico, New York Times, COVID, you know what you're going to find? You're not going to find a story about this. You're going to find all the places that Politico and New York Times talked about people like me and you putting out COVID misinformation. That's what your Google search is going to show. I guarantee it. And I mean, I've got 375,000 quote subscribers on YouTube. This episode, or my episode this afternoon, will have 2,500 views. That math don't compute. Nope. But this is the kind of stuff they were running right here. Our tax dollars funded for reporting. Yes, J.D. Vance's beard matters. They actually ran this. They were talking about his facial hair, the first one to wear it in 80 years. It indicates that voters see beards as more masculine, They were literally telling you that it can be negative, conveying aggression and opposition to feminist ideals.
Well, I'm in trouble, y'all.
Now, you and I have common sense. We read that and we go, okay, that's BS. Then they got Tim Walz with his eyes wide open. It shows his passion. Eye-popping, sign of surprise. But for Walz, it simply revealed his emotional intensity, like during his exchange about abortion. Dynamic, emphatic facial emotion grabs the viewer's attention. For Walz, it gives extra weight to his feelings, and it held our gaze.
Now, that right there was his brain hitting the pause button. That's what that was. Let's be real.
Right there, that's when he realized he'd lost the freaking debate.
Yes, that was his brain going, stop talking.
That's what that proves right there. But no, this whole deal, it ticks me off the whole bunch. And then here's the deal: Hunter Biden, when the whole laptop misinformation thing, you know who got the exclusive to be able to push the quote truth about the Hunter Biden laptop scandal? Politico.
Yep.
Politico. This is Jen Psaki. This is before you knew Jen Psaki. This is before Jen Psaki was the White House press secretary. She said this on X. She said, Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo, dozens of former intel officials say. This was an op-ed piece that Jen Psaki, Peppermint Patty, Madam Circleback, she wrote this for Politico.com. So they were already peddling the misinformation. Go to the other little deal, the other little slide over there, Royce, if you can find it. That's on this same post. Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo, dozens of former intel officials say. This article from Politico talks about 50 former intelligence officials. Well, now we've learned that 51 intelligence officials have lost their security clearance and are gone because they're under investigation because these were the people they were talking about, and this was before Joe Biden was even elected. All pushed through Politico.
I've said it before. I've said it again. The government will absolutely. They'll wait. They're going to wait 4 to 5 years, and then they'll come out and they'll go, "Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that." Just wait. They're not going. That Epstein list. I love Pam. I love Trump. I love all of them. That Diddy and list. Those lists ain't coming out. And the RFK, I mean the JFK, MLK, those files, yeah, they'll come out, but there's going to be so much black on that stuff.
So much
you're going to be able to read A,
so
N, and D. That's all you'll be able to read.
And here's the thing: I'm seeing in the chat, and I agree 1,000% with you guys. Where you're going, it's BS, it's propaganda, it's garbage. We hate Politico. I agree, but they spent $34 million of your money to prop them up.
That's the thing.
That's the issue.
Yes,
they stole an election. They stole an election in 2020.
Yeah.
Regardless, and they paid these political arms or these propaganda arms.
So, question here for you guys, because I'm trying to follow all this story with you guys. Who needs to be investigated here? Is it political, the Biden administration? I mean, who's pulling the strings here? What they were doing?
You can't really blame the New York Times or Politico for taking the government's money. Like, who's not going to accept that?
That's true.
I mean, I want to know how much Peckerwood from Meta got paid for being a part of this.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Zuckerberg right here got paid for doing all this.
And by the way, if you go in there and do that Google search, I talked to you a little while ago about Politico, New York Times, COVID. They're going to start bringing up Facebook stuff about how Zuckerberg talks about misinformation. They were all in bed together. They were all in bed together. And that's why Zuckerberg, his head needs to explode. I wish it would have happened right there during the inauguration. It would have exploded all over Jeff Bezos' girlfriend's boobs, like while he was just brain matter all over whatever her name is.
Man, but no, Tony. To my opinion, is whoever come up with the idea, whoever signed the memo, whoever ordered the check, whoever signed the check. All of that. No investigation. If your name is in that anywhere, you need to go to jail. Like you straight to jail.
Yeah, and Politico needs to stop existing.
Period.
They need to stop. New York Times is a behemoth. It's not going anywhere.
Well, I'm pretty sure without the government's money, Politico and New York Times and places like that don't exist.
Yeah, and you're going to see Andrea Mitchell resigned yesterday from MSNBC. You're going to start seeing more and more of this stuff. I mean, they're all going to Substack.
Yep,
and
they're going to have
to
start doing what we're doing just on Sky Blue and TikTok.
Yeah, that's why everybody out there, if you love us calling them out and making fun of them and having a good time with it. and finding these things, you need, and go follow Liz Wheeler, my friend Liz Wheeler from The Blaze, at Liz_Wheeler. She's got a great deep dive on all of this stuff on X. But you need to hit like. We're not asking for much. We don't need $34 million. We'd love to have it, but we're not going to get it. But what we would like to have is a couple of super chats every now and then. So Graham can feed himself every now and then at the commissary, at the Pentagon, or wherever he's at. I don't even know where Graham is today.
Undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location. He's in a bunker somewhere.
I got him locked up.
But like the super chats, just hit some like, put some comments, some American flags every now and then.
And not just the likes. I mean, share it. I mean, this is how we're trying to help with, trying to help the country heal and trying to get people's eyes open to what's going on. Share it with everybody.
You're right, Tony.
Even people you don't like. I mean, share it with them. I mean, we always are open to conversations.
What if like we were, what's that football punter guy that blew up so big that's on everything now with sports?
You're talking about Pat McAfee.
Pat
dude.
McAfee. I like McAfee. I like him. I just can't ever remember his name. Like, what if we became the political Pat McAfee type thing? I mean, all that kind of thing. You know how that could happen? Or if people put us in the same conversation of, oh, you know what was breaking on the Dear America show? That could happen if you guys share our stuff. If you share it out there. The biggest gift, you say you love Graham Allen. I love Graham Allen. He's my dear brother from another mother. Me and that dude, we've shared hotel rooms, let me tell you. But you want to bless Graham Allen? Blow his show up. Get it as big as it can be. And let's do this thing. Everybody's got a platform. Let's get that thing out there.
We've got almost 13,500 people watching. If everybody shared it with one person, you know how much that would do?
And then, like I tell everybody, go to where podcasts are offered, like Apple Podcast or Spotify. And even if you got to play and walk away, the Dear America show and the Chad Prather show, it boosts the ratings. And what that does is it tells all of these platforms that hate our guts, hey, people want to listen to this. And so they throw us higher in the recommendations, and now our audience grows. And we get some super fun trolls in here so that people like Striker J, maybe we'll make him a moderator so he can just 86 them as soon as they pop up.
Yeah, because I'm tired of clicking buttons.
Striker J was losing his mind here.
Y'all saw me last night. I had the troll call my show.
I think let's go ahead and just move on to prayer and super chats and just get
This is why the country will survive. People like Royce.
Yes.
The people with a conscience like Royce who keeps this train rolling, baby. I love it.
And also, Royce, before we move into that, I just want to say also, with our sponsors, I know it's we mention the sponsors all the time in the ad, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I love money anytime Birch comes up, but it's very important for us with the sponsors to get their name out there, because they are what make this show happen. I mean, you guys are great being on here, but without the sponsors, this show wouldn't exist. So that's why it's so important for you guys to support them as they support us. So just
and to your
FYI.
point, this is a labor of love for all of us. Ain't none of us getting paid or getting rich off of this stuff. But I loved how when Tony for 2 weeks wasn't on the show and everybody's like, we miss Tony. And it's like, you know what helps keep Tony around? Supporting the sponsors.
That's right. 100%.
That's true.
It
And
helps
guys,
keep all of us around. Okay, Royce, have it your way. Do something. Pop it up there, man. God.
I didn't do nothing.
I feel bullied. You're looking at me weird.
I was just gonna say, with some of these sponsors, we're not even asking for money from you guys. Now, the sponsors that we have, we support the product and we think it's great and we think you guys should have it. But with Birch Gold, you literally just text. You go to your text messages. It's gonna ask who do you want to text? 989898. What do you want to text them? All caps, Graham, and that's it. You've helped us.
Yep.
Not a dime. Absolutely. 5 seconds of your time. That's all we need. That's all we ask. We don't want your money. Well, we do. We need money to survive, right? But all we want from you is to text Graham to 9898, and then that's it.
And now that everyone is thoroughly guilt-tripped by Royce, let's bring up the quote, the statement. Let's bring up the statement that Pete Hegseth gave about President Trump's comment about the Gaza Strip plan. All right, Pete Hegseth. I'll just play the clip. I like hearing Pete's voice.
Dude, I love that dude, man.
I would just say to the question of Gaza, the definition of insanity is attempting to do the same thing over and over and over again. And as the President and Prime Minister pointed out last night, the President is willing to think outside the box, look for new and unique dynamic ways to solve problems that have felt like they're intractable. So we look forward to more conversations about that, creative solutions to that. And as the man tasked with leading the Defense Department here. We're prepared to look at all options, as we've said.
Do you have
Mr.
a plan to
Secretary,
send
Mr.
troops
Sec-
to Gaza?
we-
Mr. Secretary,
Are
do
you
you have a
working-
plan to send troops to Gaza?
Are you working on options for the president right now that would involve U.S. troops in Gaza?
The president is involved in very complex and high-level negotiations of great consequence to both the United States and the State of Israel, and we look forward to working with our allies, our counterparts, both diplomatically and militarily, to look at all options. But we certainly would not get ahead of the president or provide any details about what we may or may not do. That's just bad military.
Very much so.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You know, Trump has already said that we're not going to use any. We're not going to use any military. There's not going to take any of that. The Gaza Strip will be turned over to the United States by Israel at the conclusion of fighting. You guys can go in there and read that thing. You know, it's would have already been resettled in far safer, more beautiful communities with new. I'm anxious to see where this goes. Again, I'm America first. I'm MAGA, not MIGA.
What? MAGA, not what?
What?
MIGA.
Oh, okay.
Make
okay.
Israel
That was
great
too
again.
close,
It's like-
bro.
You've all seen the clip of the "Make America Follow the Constitution Again." MAFKA. Don't say it.
Mafka.
MAFCA.
It's so
Don't say it.
I can't say it.
Yeah, but I'm make America great again, not make Israel great again, or make Gaza great again. So MAGA.
I think we should make Gaza Buc-ee's.
There it is. I'm going to
Yes.
start referring to it as
Yes.
East Texas.
Yes, the Bucky Strip, baby. I love
Bucky
it.
Strip.
I love it. The Bucky Strip. You need 2 Buckies and $130 generals just all up and down the strip.
Wouldn't that be awesome to go in? I've never been to a Buc-ee's, but you can go in there and buy some chips,
What?
a soda, a
Dude.
bulletproof vest, an
Brother,
Go get some
AK-47.
Bucky Nugs, bro.
Yeah.
You
Some
can
Bucky
get you can
Nuggets.
get some beaver nuggets and a flak jacket
That's
and
a
a
fact.
Bible cover in Gaza, made out of cowhide, which again begs the question. This I'm going to call it. I guarantee you, there's no clean bathrooms in Gaza right now. Not like Buc-ee's. No, not like Buc-ee's. I love that people. I love the chat after I said MIGA. Make Israel
You should
great
stop
again.
saying it.
I just like Royce. I just want to see. I just like hearing the squeak of Royce's chair as his rear end puckers
And
right
dude,
up.
yeah, and he held his breath too. Honestly, me and him both did. Because see that it means something totally different.
I thought I was gonna have to like end the show and delete it forever.
yeah.
We're not on YouTube anymore.
I'm just sitting here going, oh
We
my
might
God.
not be
he
after
just,
today.
He
We'll
just
find
said
out.
this, and I'm a white dude from Mississippi. I'm in so much trouble right now.
All right, I love you guys. Let's go to the super chats before we get out of here. My Lord, have mercy. Royce's microphone, who knows, it may go out on him, and we're not sure if he loves the Lord. So, Tony, would you pray us out of here?
Sure.
Not sure if I love the Lord.
Hey, man, you know
Whoa.
what? Accept a rebuke from a brother. That's all I'm saying. It's in
That's
love.
right.
Love you, buddy.
All right.
Let us pray.
Dear Father, thank you so much for a great week with all the viewers and these fine men here. Thank you for all of our families and everything that you have blessed our lives with. I don't think I have the words to truly be thankful enough for everything that you have blessed us with. But I try every day, as we all do, to do what we can to help others in our lives and make life as great as we can for the people around us. I pray to you to keep everybody safe, all the viewers watching us. I pray for you to please keep everyone in different parts of the world safe. Try to heal our country together. Try to bring everybody in a spot where we can just move forward and make our country the great country that it once was, and I know that it could be. I pray for the safety for everybody and all these men, and I thank you so much for everything you have given us all. And on that, I say amen and thank you for everything.
Amen.
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 My brother
Amen.
from another Mexican mother.
That was a good time,
do
boys.
this.
Y'all made me
Yep.
laugh, legitimately
Dude,
laugh.
I spit out that man. I choked.
Do
on
we
it.
not usually? What the heck?
Nah, today was. Sometimes I fake laugh, you know, not like Kamala
All right.
Harris fake laugh.
We got 5 super chats.
We need
That's
to get
all?
that, but we need to get a button with the Kamala Harris
Yeah,
cackle.
for real.
That'd be awesome. boys.
Deb with 17. I live on the Space Coast. I work my butt off to get my president elected, and I am the Space Coast Patriot. Or yeah, Space
Coast.
Coast
Deb West.
Patriot. I love it.
17.
Love it. Go on,
I like
girl.
it.
There we go. Told y'all, Todd Hub fan. Stir in the pot. I don't watch football, Chad. I watch a real man sport called hockey. I'm telling you, y'all are going to see that shirt on my site. It's going to be Todd Hub.
Todd Hub.
That's coming. Get ready.
I love it. I watch hockey. I just don't know really what I'm watching.
Me either. It's like watching soccer. I don't know what's going on. Jeff Wallace 991. Royce is like one cool kid we all grew up with. Chill, level-headed, and always making the group better. When you're in Tennessee, let's grab a beer. You have to bring Todd, though.
I'm out. Not if I have to bring Todd.
No, yeah, he definitely.
Way to ruin the party, fella.
Yeah.
What about
Thanks, Jeff Wallace.
me, dude? Did you say anything about me? All right.
Redneck Chickie, slide to the right.
To the right, to the right. And there's our black emoji.
Dude, that's
Oh my god! All right,
Black
this is the
screen
last
emoji.
one, unless we get a few more super chats last
Melissa
second. So
Foster.
type fast.
My husband and I have the International Space Station app, and it has a live feed that shows Earth hand every time it goes over Ukraine and Russia. The feed conveniently stops working.
Wow, really?
that's
Really?
interesting.
Hold on,
Almost like
Roy.
there's
I
a
want to
fake
check
war
that out.
going
I
on over there.
probably won't. I'm just going to take your word for it.
We have a lot from Rumble. And I guess because when you reset, EV Mux reset. So
Dang.
I'll hold up. I think I can pull them up. Hang on.
Yeah,
There's a
sorry
few
guys,
more
'cause
that
I had
just
to
popped in the-
refresh.
That's
Yeah, I
interesting.
can. Yeah, I can pull them up. Okay, here we go. Shelby YH15. Thanks for all you do, guys. Hope y'all have a good weekend.
You too, girl.
Harley Girl. I've missed you guys so much. Don't get to watch live anymore. New job is fast paced and kicking my butt. I'm too old for this. Still love y'all.
Thank you.
We love you.
You're going to stay in the saddle strong with your boots on, girl. Come on.
That's it. Here we go again.
Assuming it's a girl.
Get ready for the shirt. Todd Hub fan. Okay, let's keep politics out of sports. Sports is an escape from reality for a few hours. Couldn't
There you
agree
go.
more.
There you go.
From our boy Striker J, I say we flip the script on DEI and put white people back on the field. Watch how fast they change their tune and stop DEI. NBA 2, it's time to let DEI work both ways. Can
Like
you
watching-
imagine 10 white dudes on 10 white dudes in the NBA? Nobody'd watch that.
We get
Todd.
Gene Hackman out there and it'd be a Hoosiers part 2.
Yeah, what?
Todd, rather than clicking it again, just click the next one, so it's
okay.
not going in
Hey,
and out.
you
Okay,
remember?
gotcha.
You remember in that movie Hoosiers? It was the white kids from Indiana, and they go to the state championship, and nobody thought they were going to win, and the reason is because they were playing the all black dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
They pulled off a miracle.
I haven't watched Hoosiers in freaking
Oh,
I'm
it's
gonna
been
watch
a
that
long-
tonight, as a matter
it's
of
been
fact.
a long time.
I love that movie.
Second Mama 2. I know it's unlikely, but I would love if they recruit Chris Hansen to
Yes.
show up when
Ooh,
they
that would
catch
be-
all the Epstein sickos.
That would be epic, man. Freaking
Would be.
Chris Hansen when he
Absolutely.
show up at people's
To
houses.
catch a
Hi.
predator.
Oh,
Chris
Deb
Hansen's
West.
ruined a lot of relationships.
Really
Yep.
has. Deb Weth again. How come we saw the list 8 years ago, but no one can see it now?
Well, again, you got to go back to what were the what was the list that came out, where a lot of them were speculations. Like we got the Black Book. I mean, like Donald Trump and all the family were in Epstein's Black Book, right? And you have to get past of who was the associations versus who were the guilty parties. And they confuse, they cloud the water with that. So like they come out with lists of associations. I don't care about the associations. He was associated. I can't say it enough. Associated with everybody.
Yeah.
But who
Yeah,
did the
just
deeds?
having his contacts book doesn't mean anything. Because if
Right.
I murdered somebody and they found Chad Prather in my contacts, they're not going to assume that Chad had something to do with it.
Right. I mean,
Oh,
I've
and
had
he
people.
had a
I've
massive
had people.
box of videos. So
I mean, that's like saying I've had people that got arrested for, sexual crimes. I'll just leave it at that. And this is true. I've had people, and they were my friend on Facebook. Well, that doesn't associate with me with what their crime was, right? I can delete them off, and people say, "Oh, Chad Prather was friends with this guy, and he got arrested." Blah blah blah. But that doesn't make me guilty party, right?
I'm taking you down with me.
Right.
Just letting
Man,
you
I'm
know.
trying to come up with a scapegoat here.
Yeah. It's me, Samantha. My daughter was 6, and we had a trans woman in a woman's bathroom at Olive Garden. My daughter looked at him and said, "He definitely doesn't pee from a vagina."
No.
I was so shocked, and we ran out.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's a brand new meaning to a breadstick right there.
Oh my goodness, dude.
That's so good.
Moving on.
Deb Weth again. I'm Irish, Eastern European. My husband is Filipino, Mexican. Am I racist?
Probably.
Yeah, more than likely. More than
Probably.
Probably.
I got nothing.
Slide to the right.
Yeah, that's the Mexican is nothing.
Nothing.
All right, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Filipino Mexican. That's a long way apart geographically.
Wait, there was a couple more that popped up right after.
Yeah, I'm not seeing them now. That's That's weird.
Here,
Hold
let
up.
me read
Yeah,
this
here
one
we
here.
go. Here,
Oh, you got it.
Here they go. Unfiltered lady, ignore the trolls. They are losers. Have a great weekend. All RMH731. This is for the fantastic intros. Plus, go Chiefs. Hold on, there are a couple
Chad,
more.
those were
Wait.
fantastic intros, man.
Thank you.
You were
Don't
spot
make it
on
a
today,
thing,
man.
and then I'm gonna have to try to rhyme something every day. We'll see.
Actually,
Well, you don't have to do it
Phenomenal.
every day because then it loses a little bit of its
Yeah, I know.
value.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually like this one.
I'm still impressed that I pulled Oregoni
That was-
off to
that
make it
was
ride
solid.
with Pony and Tony.
That was solid. VPMW Davis. Grandma's on a walkabout. Crocodile Dundee style. I love that.
Crocodile
I love that movie so much.
I was yesterday watching that signing was a kind of a who's who of people that we know and friends of ours and stuff, and I got a little bit of FOMO. I don't want to go to D.C. at all. I don't want to leave the house most of the time, but there were some great people in that room. Great, and I was I'm watching the clip of it right here on the replay on Fox, and it just makes me cry, dude.
Yeah.
Such a blessing.
Justine 16477. Todd, who was the guy that the caller and troll was asking about? I'm curious and didn't watch the name he said. Well, I'm assuming, and I have to apologize to Chad, Royce, and Tony, that the guy that we have been blocking the whole thing, that's the caller from last night. Pretty
Oh,
much.
is it?
I'm about
Joking.
I'm 100% certain that that's him. No, he asked me about Pete Hegseth, and hopefully he calls in to the hot seat today because I got the receipts.
Is there no kind of
what a
software we can
joker.
put in there so we can block him forever?
Oh, yeah, no,
started,
you can just block him forever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
but
did.
he's
I
been
blocked him, but he's got like,
changing
he's got
usernames.
like 60 different names over here, and I
Yeah.
blocked like 30 of them.
So he's a psychopath.
Yeah,
that
pretty
makes so much
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. No, he told me last night on the show that he was a VP. I'm like, well, you're a VP of your mother's basement for doing this, what you did today, bud.
We should just give all the viewers
We
moderators.
should find
so
out
they
where
can
he's
just,
a VP
they can
at
just
and go
block
talk
them
to
all.
his higher ups.
Yeah, Misty 024. I watched yesterday's show late and not live. I swear I was having a bad day. And then the DDD part literally kept me laughing the rest of the day. I thank you. God
That's all
bless
Royce.
you.
That was Royce right
All
there.
That's
Royce.
all Royce.
You're
Royce
welcome.
made me laugh
DDD
yesterday too.
MMM.
Yep.
That's it.
Chad, where's your pants?
I don't have any on.
You flipped a leg. I just saw a whole leg flip
Wow.
over. I was like,
Little
what was
pasty
that?
white leg.
Unfiltered lady.
That's the
great-
beauty of doing morning shows, man. You just come up here with your shorts on, underwear, whatever.
Yeah. Unfiltered lady. Great show today, guys. I appreciate the work you're doing. Thank you. JDur93, the Times is screwed over what they did to Justin Baldoni. They knowingly lied to destroy his life and accused him of sexual harassment.
Hey, whatever.
That's gonna be a big
It reminded
deal.
me. Whatever happened to that Tony guy or whatever his name was, who murdered the dude in New York, the CEO killer.
The Mangione kid?
Luigi?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's
Luigi
another
Mangione.
thing. Yeah,
What happened to that guy?
They bury these stories, dude. That's what tells you there's more to it. That's why conspiracy theories exist. They leave an information vacuum, and our brains rush to fill it with our questions. And we come up with theories.
Dude, I
but
thought
they're
you were
going to
calling
brush
me
it right
out,
under.
Royce.
You know when it'll pop up? In about 14 months, they'll have a trial for him. And people are like, oh, I forgot about that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll come out because by then they'll have spun it so many different ways, and you'll just forget about it because you'll think, oh, well, I guess I missed that piece of information, and we're not going to go back and do our research.
Facts. From Lines Fade, Politico is not just propaganda, friends. It is a state-sponsored propaganda. It's the same thing we say is unfair and despicable in communist countries. Keep digging and exposing the mess. Alicia Victoria, the guilty are the ones who become loud. They scram and protest all so we can look at them and not what secrets are being released to the public. MX wife, Todd, you're killing me this morning. Show was spot on today, guys. We had a lot
Thank
of
you.
chats today. I'm really glad we didn't. Dynamic Dude 91. Some Americans feel as though the American dream is dead. Most of us can't afford a home and pay 30 years on a mortgage, and these elite politicians piss our money away. Yep, agree with that.
Everybody should get a refund. At least half your taxes for the last 15 years ought to come back to you.
100% agree with that.
And that's me being nice and conservative.
Yeah, and that is the last one.
We've been screwed. My show, guys, is at 1 noon Central. Normally we're at 1 Central. Today we're at noon Texas time, 1 o'clock Eastern or Gaza time, Bucky's time. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, boys, I love you guys. Y'all. Somebody sent me a message last night, and they were like, "We love that you're on the show, and you've been filling in with Graham Gone doing what he's doing." And they were like, we like the humor and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, these men right here that I get to do this with every morning are top-notch human beings, real men with integrity. They're the real deal. What you see is what you get. And it's been a blessing for me over the last couple of months to get to know them. So, guys, I love y'all. Thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Same to you, Chad.
Well, man, we love you, Chad.
Yep.
And we love your rhymes.
For sure.
I can say, you know what? I'm thinking about taking some time off of podcasting to work on my rap career.
That and just your monologues are just the best, man.
There's a
really
Juecitos 805. Me and Tony are going to make Sweet Sweet Menudo together.
That's not where I thought that was going.
Yeah, me either.
Here's another super chat. Says, help him out, Tony, with the name. Thank you, guys. Todd, hopefully calling today. God
Good.
bless.
Awesome. Looking
Yeah,
forward
I'm
to it.
gonna have to drop a hammer on Chad. He keeps texting me late at night with dropping like really weird stuff on me. So I'm like, Chad, please stop texting me. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. No, I don't want to talk to you right now. Please leave me alone.
Night before last, I was puking my guts out, and I was like, 2 o'clock in the morning, I was like, you know what? I need to text Tony. I need to. I was like, that is yesterday's burrito, and I need to text Tony and see if I can get some advice. Tony, the thing I love about Tony is blunt and brunt, and he will tell you the truth. And I like people like that. They don't dance around it, and that's a beautiful thing. Speaking of Tony, Tony, get us out of here. Tell him goodbye.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Have a blessed weekend. Stay safe out there. We'll see you guys next week.
How about it, Todd?
Well, you'll catch me on the hot seat later on today, 5 o'clock. Hopefully that guy calls back in tomorrow. So we'll see.
Royce?
DDD, MMM, I love you guys. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. On Chad's show.
Royce couldn't help it.
You guys
I can't help it, man. I love it. I think it's hilarious.
I love it, dude.
I
You're
started
coming out
both of those
cocoon.
things, and I'm incredibly, incredibly proud of it. DDD, MMM.
While you guys, after you hit like and share and subscribe and all that stuff, and make your plan now, set your alarm to see me at 1 noon Central. Go to watchchad.com. Check out all the fun stuff over there. And go listen to my song, What Happened to That? Don't forget about Graham's song as well. On behalf of Graham Allen, our dear brother and our fearless leader, we love you guys. God bless you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you at my show and then on Todd's later tonight. We love you. Bye.